Welcome back to your number one stop for Dune Awakening, and today we are going to be talking about some water gathering technique, specifically when it comes to dew, how to find it, when the best time to farm it, and how to fill up your base with so much water that you should be good not only for survival, but also for unlocking all the items inside Dune Awakening you want to get your hands on. And especially before we can get our hands on the whole body breaking down stuff that is more in-game, but that is in discussion. So let's just go ahead and jump into this and talk about dew as I'm getting ready to get hit by a sandstorm. So to start off here, when it comes to collecting dew, we are looking for our plants. If you went ahead and went through the tutorial, you will know exactly what you're looking for. The plant does change the look of them depending on what zone you're in. Since I am in the second zone right now, this is what my flowers look like. And of course, when it comes to harvesting, if you have a below 1 bar on your dehydration meter, you can go ahead and just walk up and hit E, and you can go ahead and fill up your hydration this way. But when it comes to actually storing the water, or maybe depositing it into your water tanks, we're going to need a few items to actually do this. So to start off, we need to go ahead and make some bottled water or your little jar, which you can go ahead and craft by, of course, researching under your blood tab. You can get one here with copper. You can also get higher tiered one, such as the ones you can get through your blueprints here. And of course, I did a video breaking down where you can go ahead and get your hands on one of these in one of my other videos, all about finding legendary / schematic. So I will link that above and below. So check out that video if you do want to get your hands on some higher tier ones. But either way, we need to go ahead and make us a whole bunch of these. So do your best to get as many of these made as possible, especially when you are going out farming. The second item we need to get our hands on that you can unlock at iron production is a Dew Reaper Mark II. And when it comes to this, this is a must-have to start harvesting. With that being said, there is some higher tier ones you can go ahead and get your hands on down here in aluminum and so on. But just to start out here, you will start actually harvesting at iron. So go ahead, make you one of these. You can of course find these in some of the dungeons and bases as well. So you might have one any before actually getting to iron tier. But nonetheless, once you have your Reaper and you have your John, we can go ahead and start farming. So if you go ahead and equip your sight and walk up to the plants, if it's daytime, you will notice there is like a E. Once again, once you're above a tier 1 or the 4th bar for hydration, you will notice the E or the interact button is grayed out. And the main reason for this is because you cannot actually harvest this in daytime. This is 100% a nighttime routine, and specifically going into the early morning. So when it comes to actually farming these, we need to go ahead and wait a little bit here to nightfalls. So now that the sun have went down, if you go ahead and equip your sight, you will go ahead and notice now we have a little sight icon over our plant. Also, we got that blue glow coming off of the plant itself, and this is pretty much it telling you, hey, you can go ahead and harvest this now. So if you run up and you start harvesting by left clicking and keep an eye on the symbol here, because as I do this, I will get a little bit of water, and once the plant it out, that symbol will disappear. But the main thing here is ideally, if you can help it, if you don't really care, that one thing, but if you do want to get the most amount of water off of the plant, you want to go ahead and wait to early dawn. And the main reason for this is once the night is over, throughout the night, the plant will gather more and more liquid and water that you can go ahead and harvest into, once again, into your jugs, since this is where the water will go when you're harvesting, and which is why you want a whole bunch of these if you can help it. But if you let it set overnight, more water will gather, and then you can collect any more from every single harvest. But this is time restriction since you only have a small period of time. So once again, do what you will with it, but ideally you do want to wait to dawn. And the best way to know when it's perfect harvesting time for the dew, if you go ahead and put T on your keyboard, you will see the compass up on the right side of the screen, and we want to go ahead and start harvesting once that very top bar is filled with blue. And once it's filled up, we can go ahead and harvest, and you can go ahead and harvest it to the blue bar officially disappears. So once it hit pretty much middle of the compass and it turned back to the the default quarter here, that's how you will know how much time you have. So make sure, if you can help it, be sure to be harvesting when your compass or your timer compass at the top of the screen turn blue. Once again, you hit T to actually see it. So now that the top have been filled in with the full layer of blue, as you can see up there, we can go ahead and start harvesting now. And you will notice we went from getting like 30 meter liters into the multiple hundred, because as you can see, I have already got my hands on 400 meter liters here, which wouldn't even be really half of this if we started farming at the beginning of the night. So make sure, if you are going to be harvesting water, also make sure you keep an eye out for what kind of plants you have around you. And ideally, another thing to keep in mind when building your bases is, of course, to make sure you have a nice little collection of the plant net to your bait to help out. And of course, by using the item here with the site, it will drain energy from your generator just like it would for using your crafting or mining materials, for gathering material from like rocks. So to keep that in mind, you will indeed run through how much energy you have. So when you're doing that, also make sure you have a pretty decent generator for your power as well. So not only you can get the most out of it because of the morning dew, your generator will give you enough power to harvest it efficiently. And also make sure you are harvesting at the beginning of the day to get the most. And also make sure you have a crap ton of jars on you to hold this water. And once you fill up your jar, you will go ahead and see here that I am now sadly filling out water out of my buckets or my cups. So keep an eye out for that because you can indeed just fill all your liquid or any excess liquid once your jars are completely filled. So whenever you start seeing the little red alert saying you are filling liquid, that means you are done. So it's time to go and dump off your water, drink it, or maybe go get your hands on any more of the cups. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and say we are done harvesting since I am filling, and let's move on to what to do with that water. So when it comes to this, we can go ahead and just straight up drink the water if you want. If you are out there just scavenging or searching around, this is a nice little thing to do to make sure you're not going to dehydrate. But in my case, and I imagine a lot of your guys' cases as well, we want to go ahead and dump this. So we can do this in a few ways here. So to start off here, we do have the ability to make the water container, the smaller ones. We do have medium ones over here. And of course, we do have large water container as well. So once you start doing it, make sure you make somebody for your houses, whatever you might be able to do at any given moment. And when it goes to actually dumping this, we can go ahead and just hit E for use. And we have an option here in our tank to dispose of water. So you can go ahead and just dump your water into your tank and fill it up so you can then use that water for crafting, such as breaking down material with your oil manufacturing, as well as making gasoline and a whole bunch of other stuff. Because the thing is, the farther and farther you get into Dune Awakening, the more that water going to matter and more you need it outside of just hydration. And with that, that is everything you need to know about Dune and harvesting water from it. So hopefully you have found it useful. If so, make sure to do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells. And of course, if you want to become like all the wonderful folks here, be sure to hit up that wonderful join button here on YouTube to become a member, hitting up twitch.tv/Maconn, where I stream every single night starting around 8 p.m. as long as my sleep schedule is included up, and hitting that wonderful subscribe button over there, and of course hitting up a Patreon as well. Links in the description for that, and the links are working now. I had some issues, I fixed it. Links should be working for all my social below now. I don't know what happened. YouTube is YouTube. But nonetheless, that will go ahead and do it for me. And like always, I will go ahead and see you in the comments.